Picture this. You've got the exact same actor standing in the exact same room. In one shot, they look incredibly warm, friendly, and just completely welcoming. But in the very next shot, they look mysterious and, honestly, genuinely dangerous. The camera didn't change at all. The actor didn't change either. So what actually happened? Well, today we're going to reveal how changing nothing but the light creates that incredible magic. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to master lighting fundamentals and finally learn how to speak the language of light.
The whole premise here is pretty simple, but it's absolutely crucial. Light creates emotion. Sure, without light, you literally don't have an image. The camera obviously needs it just to function. But in our time together today, our goal is to move way beyond mere visibility. We're not just trying to make things bright enough to see. Instead, we're going to use light as a powerful tool to guide the audience's attention and seamlessly support the underlying story.
So here's our roadmap for This Explainer. We're going to cover the language of light, break down the 4 qualities of light, talk about motivated lighting, walk through a practical scene demonstration, and finish up with avoiding beginner mistakes.
All right, part 1, the language of light.
We really need to completely reframe how we think about lighting. It's an active storytelling device, and it constantly asks one single guiding question. How should the audience feel? Lighting serves a bunch of distinct purposes that go way beyond just illumination. Yes, it obviously helps us see the subject clearly, but it also actively guides the audience's attention right to what matters most in the frame. It creates a believable sense of depth. It reveals the texture of the environment, and most importantly, it establishes the mood and supports the entire story. Basically, every single lighting tweak you make is actually a storytelling choice.
Moving right along to part 2, the 4 qualities of light.
Think of these qualities as your visual vocabulary, the specific tools cinematographers use to communicate emotion. We're talking about direction, quality, intensity, and color. I absolutely love this framework because it takes something that can feel like total magic and breaks it down into controllable, practical elements.
First up is direction. This is literally just where the light is coming from, but man, it completely alters the emotional read of a character. If you use front lighting, the feeling is very open, very clean. But if you shift that exact same light over to the side, it suddenly adds profound depth and dramatic tension. And if you place it behind your subject, which is called backlighting, it creates physical separation from the background, or even these stark, mysterious silhouettes.
Next, we've got the quality of the light. Basically, is it hard or soft? Hard light creates strong, defined shadows, high contrast, and bold textures, which is absolutely perfect for intense drama. Soft light, on the flip side, gives you gentle shadows, smooth skin tones, and highly natural-looking portraits. Now, I want to remind you here that neither quality is inherently better than the other. The choice entirely depends on your story's purpose. Are you shooting a gritty, high-stakes thriller, or are you shooting a nostalgic memory where everyone needs gentle, flawless skin? Quality number 3 is intensity. Just how bright or dim is the light? A simple shift in brightness instantly changes the tone of a room. Bright lighting often feels energetic, open, and cheerful. It feels friendly. But low light, that can feel intimate, mysterious, or even incredibly tense. Just by turning a dimmer switch, you are actively dictating the emotional temperature of the scene. And finally, we have color. Different color temperatures heavily dictate the mood of the image. Warm light often feels cozy, romantic, and comfortable. Think of a crackling fire or a living room lamp. Cool light, conversely, can feel quiet, lonely, clinical, or even suspenseful, kind of like moonlight streaming into a dark office. Combined with your camera's white balance, color is just an incredibly potent tool. That brings us to part 3, motivated lighting.
Anytime a professional filmmaker is crafting a scene, they always ask themselves, where is this light actually coming from? This is what the industry calls motivated lighting. It's all about making your lighting appear to come from natural sources within the scene itself, like a practical desk lamp or a window, so it feels completely believable to the audience. If sunlight is supposedly entering through a window on the left side of the frame, your professional lighting setup needs to match that exact direction. Matching these in-frame sources grounds the emotion in reality. It literally makes the audience forget they're watching a lit set.
Okay, part 4, the scene demonstration.
Let's actually bring all these abstract concepts together right now. Picture a scene where a student is sitting entirely alone reading a letter. We're going to walk through this exact action lit 3 different ways. In version A, we use bright, flat front lighting. The result? The scene feels very neutral and informational. Now let's change it up for version B. We switch to soft side lighting, motivated by a nearby window. Suddenly, the scene feels deeply emotional and intimate.
Finally, in version C, we apply low-key lighting with strong, harsh shadows. The exact same action now feels mysterious and highly suspenseful. The actor is saying the identical words in every single version, but the audience experiences them completely differently, purely because of the lighting choices.
And finally, Part 5, Avoiding Beginner Mistakes.
Look, one of the biggest pitfalls we see is just using every available light. We've all seen those video calls where someone is blasted by a blinding ring light directly in their face, right? It removes all depth, texture, and mood from the shot, making it look incredibly ordinary and flat. Another aspect is placing your main light directly in front of the subject, which entirely kills the shadows that give a face its natural shape. Beginners also tend to ignore natural light direction, which instantly breaks the believability we just talked about. But the biggest trap of all? Asking, how can I make this brighter, instead of asking the real question, what emotion should this create?
There's this fantastic industry insight you should really take to heart. Great cinematographers don't simply illuminate a scene, they sculpt it. They use light to reveal character and to control exactly where the audience looks. Every shadow is just as intentional as every highlight. Learning to literally see light and treating every single shadow as a deliberate choice is without a doubt the most valuable skill you can ever develop.
So here's my challenge to you for your next project. Don't just flip a switch. Stop and think about direction, quality, intensity, and color. Start painting with light. Ultimately, what emotion will your light create? It's a real game changer once you get the hang of it. And if you're eager to put this into practice, you definitely won't want to miss our next explainer, where we dive into the classic three-point lighting setup. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll see you next time.